Every day, thousands of deals get made. Money flows like a river, big promises are whispered in boardrooms, and headlines shout about the returns, the wins, the big exits. But under all that glitter, underneath the glossy presentations and the well-polished success stories, there's a darkness, a side of private equity that nobody ever wants to admit. Not publicly, not in plain sight. And it's hurting the very people who think they're winning. Maybe it hits you already. The pressure that never lets up, the sleepless nights filled with doubts nobody sees, the constant fear that a single bad call can destroy fortunes and reputations. You feel it, don't you? That gnawing weight when the numbers don't add up the way they should, when the people you trusted turn quiet, defensive, or worse, when the culture inside your shops or your portfolio companies starts crumbling, and no slide deck can fix that. It's brutal because private equity sells a dream, that you can fix anything by throwing money, cutting costs, building spreadsheets, and chasing growth. But what nobody talks about is how often it actually tears things apart. Businesses get gutted, employees get tossed aside like collateral damage, and the relentless push for ROI sometimes feels like an endless race to the bottom. You're promised your leading transformation, but inside it can feel like watching a slow collapse. Quiet bleeding of talent, trust, and purpose. And you carry that on your shoulders. The endless calls, the board meetings where you have to smile and convince everyone that all's well, even when you're scared it's not. The alliances that are more like thin ice than solid ground. You're never off, never safe, because every second counts and every misstep is magnified, not just by the market, but by the people who depend on you and, more than that, by yourself. What if the problem isn't just the companies or the market? What if it's the system itself? A system built on chasing quick wins, maximized leverage, and engineered exits, where the human side is more often a casualty than a priority. A game where loyalty is temporary and trust can evaporate overnight. There is no honor in pretending this landscape isn't ruthless, no glory in ignoring the cracks that form under the pressure. And yet the most dangerous thing isn't the risk of losing a deal. It's losing your edge, the fire, the clarity, the purpose that made you fight in the first place. You are not just a manager or a boardroom player. You are a leader with a vision to build something lasting, something real. But the way the game is played, sometimes it pushes you towards conformity, waiting for signals from the center, afraid to break the mold, to disrupt yourself before the market does it for you. Here's the raw truth that's hidden behind glossy investor decks and flashy conference talks. To survive and truly thrive in private equity today, you have to wake up from the comfortable narratives. You have to stop being a prisoner of illusions, the idea that every move must be safe, every risk sanitized, every strategy fitting neatly into the old playbooks. That world is collapsing, fast. The real edge, the true power, lies in breaking free from those rules that hold you back. In questioning everything you think you know, in redefining what success means, not just for the firms you manage or the investments you oversee, but for yourself as a leader. It sounds big, it sounds risky, and it is. But embracing that risk, owning that discomfort, that's how you stay ahead, how you create value that lasts beyond a quick flip. Don't let the system grind you into another gear in their machine. The ones who win, who make history, aren't those who simply follow the crowd or accept the status quo. They are the few, those who dare to be ruthless with their old assumptions, who stop chasing comfort and start chasing truth. They build partnerships not just based on contracts, but on alignment of real vision and values. The kind of collaborations where honesty is the currency, where you respect differences and use them to create strength rather than weakness. Imagine working with investors, management teams, and entrepreneurs who don't just tick boxes, but who ignite a fire inside you. Those connections, rare as they are, rewrite the rules of what's possible. This isn't about turning your back on the market or being reckless. It's about being selective with who and what you commit your time and energy to, being sharp enough to spot the misaligned brilliance, those overlooked talents, those underestimated ventures that others dismiss, and connecting with them. That's your secret weapon. Because the real power in private equity lies not just in capital or leverage, but in people, in networks that thrive on authenticity and challenge, in leveraging patience over impatience. Forget the quarterly pressure cooker mentality. Build like you're playing a 1,000-year game, not a sprint. Sustainable growth, resilience under fire, Breakthrough innovation, those don't come from chasing trends. They come from cultivating depth, from giving room to ideas and teams that refuse to be boxed in. And here's what most won't tell you. The system outside wants you small, confined, manageable. It wants you to play safe because the moment you push too hard, it feels threatened. But inside you, the real you, the spark is still there. That hunger for something bigger. For freedom inside your own work, your own life, your own legacy. The freedom to be sovereign over your decisions, to pull the strings of your own destiny without being shackled to some outdated idea of success. To transform the very reality you live in, instead of being shaped by it. That's not just a dream. It's the new frontier for those bold enough to reach for it. So, if the old way hasn't been cutting it, if you're tired of feeling trapped between the demands of the fund, the pressures of the market, and the compromises that eat at your soul, then it's time to break out. Not by walking away, but by stepping up. By aligning yourself with the few who see the bigger game, who refuse to bow to ease or familiarity, who understand that true winning comes from forging authentic alliances, from questioning every rule, and from burning bright when others fade under pressure. Private equity has a dark side, sure, but that darkness only exists because it's starving for light. Light from leaders who will not settle for half-truths, who will not let discomfort silence their vision. Leaders who will build not just portfolios, but legacies. It's there, waiting for you. That space where the misunderstood become the unstoppable. Where the rare find one another, and together create the future, not just survive it. This isn't the fantasy of the herd. It's the pact of the few who will not rest until the system serves the exceptional, not just the average. Because when you tap into that power, the freedom to be sovereign, the courage to be critical, and the patience to transform, you don't just manage business. You redefine what's possible. Look around, and you'll see the system falters, strained from years of pushing people like you into square holes. But that's your sign. The cracks are your opportunity. The shadows your call to rise. Don't wait for someone else to change the game. Burn the old playbook. Build your own. Make the next move not with hesitation, but with the fierce clarity of someone who knows their fire cannot be extinguished, only channeled to break new ground. This is not about playing it safe. It's about playing it real. It's about owning the challenge that nobody talks about and turning it into your greatest strength. If you're ready, the path forward isn't easy, but it's yours to take. And trust this, when that path lights up, it's addictive. Each step fuels the next. Each connection strengthens your resolve. And suddenly, what was once a dark side becomes the very source of your power. You are not alone in this. There are others like you, waiting in the shadows, ready to rise with you. So lean in, question relentlessly, align fiercely, and transform relentlessly. Because the future belongs to those who refuse to live borrowed lives, who refuse to be led by illusions, and who dare to unleash what's truly possible.